Your morning routine may have gone out the window.
And you might be finding change challenging.
But we're in this together.
And we'll get through this together.
Keeping you connected.
1 minute at a time.
1 hour at a time.
One morning at a time.
Because what matters as much as the facts
is family.
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 And here you have both.
We're in this together. Good Morning Arizona. Weekdays 4:30 to 10.
Over $100,000.
Oh my God.
Over $100,000 recovered for Arizonans in just 1 month. The most ever for 3 on Your Side.
My God, I cannot thank you guys enough.
You went the extra mile.
3 on Your Side now 24/7, sun up to sundown. Getting your money back when nobody else can.
You can bank on it.
More Arizonans turn to 3 on Your Side.
So grateful for 3 on Your Side.
Thank you so much.
Only on Arizona's Family.
Tonight at 9, we're starting right off the bat with breaking news. 3 Phoenix police officers have been injured in a shooting tonight.
Yeah, this is a very active scene. There are police there right now. This is happening near 39th Drive and Pinnacle Peak Road. That is where we can find our David Caltabiano. David, what are you seeing? What can you tell us?
It's really shaping up to be a tragic scene out here after learning that 3 Phoenix police officers were shot somewhere in this area. This is 39th Drive down this way. You can see police have closed it off. Closer down Happy Valley Road is where the scene is in that neighborhood. You could see dozens of police cars. We saw cruisers, unmarked cars, even tactical SWAT trucks speed through this area. And understandably so, hearing that those 3 Phoenix police officers were shot. No word on their condition just yet, and no word on the suspected shooter.
It's a very active scene. Dozens of police officers, law enforcement, paramedics. We just saw the Phoenix chief of police show up. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see the scene here. As you can see, a lot of people gathered at the front of the hospital. They've been going in and out of those doors right there for the past 30 minutes. And then on the other side, if we can pan over, that area is blocked off with police tape. So a lot going on in that area. We just saw a command response vehicle show up. So it looks like they are setting up on the side of the hospital there. Again, what we know right now, police say 3 officers are injured following a shooting at 39th Drive and Pinnacle Peak Road. That's just about 10 minutes away from here. We are awaiting this press conference, but I am reading a tweet from the Phoenix Police Department. Take a look here. They say, with heavy hearts, we announce the passing of a Phoenix PD commander. Greg Carnicle was shot at the scene of a domestic violence call. 2 other officers were also shot at 40th Drive and Pinnacle Peak. The 2 officers are expected to recover.
Such heartbreaking news here, that just coming in the last minute from Phoenix Police Department, saying that Phoenix Police Commander Greg Carnicle shot and killed tonight in the line of duty. Shot along with 2 of his comrades. Fortunately, they are expected to survive, but this is horrible news that we're getting tonight of a police officer on the department in Phoenix who has been killed doing his job. Time away from his family, doing his job, keeping people safe. And tonight he's been killed in a shooting that happened in North Phoenix tonight.
Tonight we lost a true hero. Greg Carnicle was a 31-year veteran of our department. We also have Marissa, who is out of surgery right now, and she's stable, as well as Alicia, who has 2 years on and suffered from lower extremities. I can tell you this about Greg. I knew him for 30 years. He and I worked together in Maryville Precinct and used to enjoy way too much Church's chicken on duty. So to be able to stand here today and say that one of my good friends is lost is troubling. So please keep us in our thoughts and prayers. Keep the Carnicle family in their thoughts and prayers also. And do know that as soon as we wrap this up, we'll share that information with you. But once again, Phoenix lost a true hero, and that person was Greg Carnicle. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. We may be getting closer to getting some answers about the fate of these 2 missing children who used to live in Chandler.
So we're talking, of course, about the search for Tylee Ryan and Joshua Vallow. Their mother, Lori Vallow, is due in court tomorrow in Rexburg, Idaho. Our chief investigative reporter, Morgan Lowe, is outside the jail tonight where Vallow is being held. And Morgan, we know she got in town this afternoon. You were there. What has happened since then tonight?
Heather and Jared, Lori Vallow spent about an hour talking to her attorney this evening, no doubt discussing a court appearance that she has tomorrow. About 10 minutes ago, she was transported into the Women's Detention Center that is located just behind me. She will go to bed in a jail cell tonight, capping a long day and a long journey that began last night in Hawaii. Late last night, Lori Vallow spotted at the airport in Kauai, escorted by law enforcement. Fellow passengers stunned she'd be flying commercial with them.
She had chains, around her waist, but then her hands were in her sweater pocket, and I couldn't tell if she was cuffed or not.
Katie Waite was coming home from vacation. She spoke to us via FaceTime.
Her demeanor was very calm. It was very collected.
Katie snapped these pictures of Vallow with her cell phone.
I got on the plane and she had actually sat in the back left corner. They went clear to the back. They were the first ones on, and she ducked down the majority of the flight because I think people were catching word that she was on the flight.
Did it surprise you that they're leading somebody who's coming to jail on a commercial airliner?
A little bit. I mean, I don't want to say too much, but I was like, oh, this is kind of nerve-wracking.
Once they landed in L.A., someone else captured this video of Vallow on the tarmac, leaving one jet headed to another. And we were waiting at the small airport in Rexburg, Idaho, when she landed there. Surrounded by sheriff's deputies, she walked off the plane and into a waiting SUV. Moments later, that SUV pulled up in front of me. Lori, where are your kids? You can't see from this angle, but her face is just inches away from me. It would be very easy for you to get out of this if you just told everybody where your kids were.
Good morning, folks. First after up in the Lions Riffy News Shopper just arrived downtown Tempe. A train derailment on the bridge that goes over the Tempe Town Lake on fire, and what's really on fire is a car of lumber, and there's lumber in the Tempe Town Lake, there's lumber on the bridge, the whole bridge, most of the bridge on fire. It's working its way back to the rest of the train. We have some tanker cars down there that fell off of the bridge. This bridge, I don't know, we'll do some research. I'm not sure how long this bridge has been in Tempe, but ever since I went to Arizona State in 1974, that's for sure.
What you're taking a look at here and what you've been seeing here, this is a shot from Lakeside Drive and Rio Salado Parkway. And what you're seeing, a lot of the debris that you see falling from that is that lumber that's burning. It kind of from a ways, it looked like if the bridge itself was collapsing, but it's pretty much the lumber falling off of the train that was up above. You can see how hot it is burning. When you see that black smoke, that means that it has all that fresh material that it's burning. You saw that the fire ladder is here. They've been hitting it from up above. And just as Camille was saying, she was on her morning routine. We also have a couple that were walking on their morning routine, and they witnessed the whole thing right above them as they were walking as well. So you guys were right here doing your morning jog, saw it, and what happened?
Well, I was walking east, and all of a sudden I saw the train crossing over. And the actual front of the train was crossing over, and then all of a sudden I heard crack, crack, snap, snap, crack, crack. It sounded like it was coming off track. And then we kept looking at it, and then we just stopped. And we kept looking at it and wondering where the noise come from. It sounded like it was coming off the track. And lo and behold, right there in front of us, it came down. Boom.
Stay on top of how many coronavirus cases are in your neighborhood with the azfamily.com interactive dashboard. Search your zip code to see the trajectory of cases where you live. For COVID resources and continuing coverage, stay with Arizona's Family and azfamily.com.
We want to take a deeper dive into the coronavirus numbers here in the state of Arizona that have just been reported from overnight from the Department of Health Services. So much to talk about. There are some new heights that we have reached today, but we'll start you out with the raw data. First, the brand new cases that have been reported overnight, 5,267.
Our routines might have changed, and the unknown can be challenging.
But Arizona, we're here to help you.
This Thursday, Arizona's Family's hosting a virtual Get That Gig job fair. Visit our Facebook page to connect with businesses that are hiring right now. See up-to-date job listings. Talk with employers about their job opportunities. Get your questions answered.
We want to get you back to work.
Because we'll do anything for family.
Thursday morning and again on Thursday evening on our Arizona's Family Facebook page.
Sierra Powell is living proof. She joins us live right behind me here. Hi, Sierra. Hey, you lost your job serving. You logged on to our virtual job fair just a week ago, and now you're ready to start a full-time job. Before you tell us about that brand new job that you're going to, I know there's a lot of people out there, Sierra, that think that they're alone. They're feeling scared. You were one of them just last week. Walk us through that process. You logged on. What happened?
It was a pretty easy process. So I went on originally to apply for unemployment benefits. And then I had actually my previous employer send me some resources, which included your job fair link. And I didn't watch any of the lives or anything. Underneath it included a list of all the places that are hiring, super easy, right in front. I applied for 5 of them immediately, and I actually heard back within that same day.
Over the weekend, Arizona started requiring identity verification for anyone who receives pandemic unemployment assistance.
Yeah, the goal is to cut down on rampant fraud that has plagued the system. But as 3 on Your Side Susan Campbell found out, real people with real claims are getting caught in the middle, Susan.
Yeah, right after this new system launched, we were flooded with phone calls and emails about problems uploading documents and excessive wait times. So here's what we know. About 300,000 Arizonans are currently claiming pandemic unemployment assistance. So far, according to DES, only about 53,000 have been able to certify their weekly claims through this new system.
I'm still on hold.
For Jay and Joanne Kruljak, 2020 has been almost unbearable.
With everything that's going on, what more can we take?
A massive fraud scheme tied to unemployment benefits is affecting people all over our state.
This is a problem we first exposed last month, and tonight investigative reporter Morgan Lowe shows us how it is only getting worse.
It started in mid-July when our tenants were moving out.
Victoria Corsi reached out to us during the summer after receiving some suspicious envelopes in the mail at her rental house.
Nobody that lives here has applied for unemployment, ever.
But she had nearly a dozen letters and benefits cards from DES addressed to people at her address. The benefits cards were loaded with unemployment cash. And she wasn't the only one this was happening to.
Right now I have a stack here.
This woman, who asked us to conceal her identity, also received cards at her address containing the names of people who had never lived at her house. All the while, she was waiting for her own unemployment benefits.
What do you make of the irony that you're waiting for your legitimate claim to come through? Meantime, you're getting these other illegitimate claims that have been approved.
It kind of just falls more into the 2020 unprecedented year of craziness, of everything being so obscure and weird. But I can't make it. It doesn't make any sense.
We took this to the DES director.
Fraud is a nationwide problem, and it's definitely impacted our ability to do this work in Arizona.
And this is, again, a live camera. We are streaming this live, not only on air, but online. One of our crew members every once in a while has to take the camera off his shoulder just to walk safely through that crowd, not to incite any sort of response from the protesters. And again, it's been a very passionate protest. It's been peaceful so far. Got very tense down there at the state capitol with DPS troopers. But so far, this crowd has been marching peacefully through the downtown area for quite a while now. Started at 7 p.m. Looks like we're going to go live to Brianna Whitney, who has been in the middle of what was happening over at the state capitol. Brianna, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean, this is a very fluid situation. There are a lot of emotions running high right now. I'm going to step out of the shot here. Hundreds of people still down here at the Capitol. We've had people screaming in our face. We have police in riot gear. And not only is Phoenix police down here, but DPS troopers have also come down in riot gear, parked outside the Capitol here. So we've seen police officers marching with their gear down 17th Avenue towards Adams. And if we swing the camera around over here, Chris, if we can swing the camera around over here, it looks like they're pushing the protesters down Adams, which would be heading more towards Phoenix police. So I don't know if you can see from where we are over here, but there is just a long line of protesters screaming with signs.
Okay, it looks like we're going to go back to a live picture. It looks like one of our police units, Phoenix Police Unit, at one point got surrounded by protesters. It looks like the officers keeping calm. Looks like they're getting into that vehicle. We are keeping the sound off. Some salty language happening down there at this point. But again, just a lot of people with some high emotions, not touching or damaging this police unit at this point.
Right. I mean, we have seen the worst happen in other cities where ambulances tonight were trashed. The entire there we go. Things just escalated.
Just hit the back window out.
Yeah. Now the officers have no choice but to get out and confront the protesters whoever did this, whoever smashed in the back window. I mean, we saw things escalate so much further tonight in Minneapolis. We've been hoping and watching this peaceful protest play out here in Phoenix tonight, hoping it would remain so, but that just took it to a new level.
Take a knee! Take a knee! Look at this! Take a knee!
You guys, they have now fulfilled your demand.
Thank you! Thank you!
A peaceful end to protests last night in Phoenix. Instead of arrests, handshakes after a handful of police officers joined demonstrators in taking a knee outside of Phoenix Police headquarters.
To me, it was a pure expression of peace. It is exactly what we said could happen if we all begin this process of trying to really heal through the hurt of the community.
Hello and welcome to Critical Conversations, an Arizona's Family Town Hall event. I'm Yetta Gibson.
And I'm Brandon Lee. Thanks for being with us tonight. Over the course of the next hour, we're going to be touching on a wide variety of topics. Things like use of force, activism in sports, and yes, even the Karens.
Even the Karens. But we do want to start with something taking center stage in our country right now, the fight both for and against defunding the police. It's a video that shocked the world. We witnessed George Floyd's final moments as now former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin pressed his knee into Floyd's neck until he could no longer breathe. New video of Floyd's arrest, as seen from a police body cam, reveals Floyd's first pleas in what would lead to his final moments. And protests over what happened erupted in cities across the world, and right here in the Valley as well.
But when the dust settled, the cry for police reform quickly grew.
We're also pushing for systemic change.
I'm 3 on your side's Gary Harper, and the big election is coming up. It's going to be here before you know it. So exactly what does that mean when it comes to voter turnout, and more importantly, what does it mean when it comes to ballot security? With roughly 2.5 million registered voters here in Maricopa County, turnout for the 2020 November election is expected to be huge.
Oh, definitely. I think there's going to be a big turnout. I really do.
It's going to be one of the, I think, closest races in the last 10 years.
The upcoming election has garnered so much attention that roughly 300,000 Maricopa County voters have been added to the permanent early voting list. And get this, 78% of the registered voters in Maricopa County have already requested mail-in ballots.
I think there's going to be a record number of people that vote this year. And I personally am voting beforehand by mail.
While social distancing will be enforced at roughly 170 voting centers scattered across Maricopa County, drive-through contactless options will also be available to drop off your ballot, for instance, at stadiums.
We are absolutely ready.
Reynaldo Valenzuela is the Election Services Director and oversees early voting in Maricopa County. He tells 3 on your side that with a record number of early mail-in ballots requested, there's been speculation that some people may be tempted to illegally vote twice.
It's impossible
According to Valenzuela, a unique barcode is assigned to every voter, which will prevent a vote from being counted twice.
You go in, the check-in system is a smart system. When you check in, it's looking at your registration to say you've already voted an early ballot or you've already voted at another location.
Let's say you have an early ballot and you mail it in on election day, but you also try to vote that day in person. That unique barcode will only read the most recent vote that was cast.
There is an inspector there that will have to walk you through to say, this shows that you've already voted. And so you would have to, in that point, there's more than enough red flags and checks and balances to prevent that.
It started 4 years ago.
The President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Tonight, the road to the White House could come down to Arizona voters.
A Joe Biden presidency represents chaos and anarchy.
It could be the devil, and I'd vote for him instead of Trump.
From Washington, D.C. to the Valley, Arizona's family is covering all the key races.
Border security is national security.
Border security is critical to our state.
And the issues that matter to you.
People are so afraid of us getting justice. Our students aren't getting the adequate funding to have a successful education.
What do we want? You are standing together and you are powerful.
So we're not asking anyone to use marijuana. We're simply asking them to allow it to be sold.
If we want to protect our children, public safety, our healthcare system, then vote no.
We have created 2.4 million new jobs.
We handed him a booming economy. He blew it.
Our numbers continue to increase in Arizona.
President Donald Trump has put the health of America first.
Clearly, it hasn't worked.
It all comes down to tonight.
When America decides.
Arizona's family is covering election night like nobody else. Boy, you can feel the excitement. You can feel the anxiety. Yeah, all the feelings on this election night 2020. Thank you at home for joining us. I'm Brandon Lee.
I'm Yetta Gibson. Deep breaths, because you probably feel all of that. Polls closed about an hour ago here in Arizona, and we're expecting the very first numbers to start rolling in any minute. In fact, I think they're already rolling in.
Yes, and I think it is important to say at least this right out of the gate. Here's the reality tonight. We all need to accept it. We may not be getting the election results immediately tonight. In some states, officials won't even begin counting mail-in ballots until after the polls close, which will likely delay the results in places like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. But back here at home in Arizona, officials, they have been counting all of those early votes for almost 2 weeks. We are a battleground in this election in 2020. We're still waiting for some of those first numbers to start coming in for us here in Arizona. Of course, keeping a very close eye on the race for the Arizona Senate seat, which we will get to. Obviously, this is the presidential race.
Yes.
No votes counted in. I believe, Yetta, we're going to get these in at around 8:02, 8:03 tonight.
All right, let's take a look at, we're just looking at the races and the candidates here. Mark Kelly, a retired Navy combat pilot, NASA astronaut, has led this race from the very beginning. And of course, Mick Sally, a former fighter pilot herself in the U.S. Air Force. We've got team coverage for you tonight. We're covering all the key races, all the key issues for you. As you can see, we've got everybody everywhere for you, and we're covering all the issues that matter. We want to start with Scene. He's got a closer look at the race for the White House.
Yeah, and of course it all begins with the race to 270. That's the Electoral College vote. That's what put the president into the White House back in 2016 with the road to 270. So we just got a couple more states called for the president. They are Nebraska, Kansas, the two Dakotas, North Dakota and South Dakota, as well as Wyoming. So the president now starting to pick up that center part of the state. The former Vice President Joe Biden, he picked up Colorado, as well as New Mexico and the state of New York. So that is what it looks like right now, a 128 to 92 lead for former Vice President Joe Biden. As far as what the Democrats need to pick up, they call it building the blue wall, and it starts in the upper Midwest. They need to start picking up some ground with the swing states, Wisconsin and Michigan, and of course Ohio and Pennsylvania still in play. The president's team, they're calling it the Sun Belt sweep. They want to come down south, and they want to pick up North Carolina, portions of Georgia, as well as Florida. Right now, those swing states are still too close to call, so we're going to keep an eye on this. Yetta and Brandon, of course, it's the race to 260. You can actually build your own map at home with your kids, your family members. You can do that right now. The link is right on top of our webpage, azfamily.com.
And we have live team coverage again for you tonight. We begin with our chief investigative reporter, Morgan Lowe, who is live at the Maricopa County Recorder's Office. Morgan, what's the mood there right now?
Brandon, I will tell you that up until about 5 minutes ago, it was really quiet. It had quieted down. The crowd had died down. But then 5 minutes ago, behind me, Alex Jones showed up. If you don't know who that guy is, he's a peddler of conspiracy theories. And some of them have just had some really nasty ramifications. He said that the massacre at Sandy Hook was fake and that sort of thing. At any rate, he is here now, and he is riling up this crowd. And he was here earlier today. He was here last night. He's one of the reasons why this group has sort of turned from a crowd that was really here to make sure that votes were being counted to now this crowd that's really mostly full of people who are talking about conspiracy theories and QAnon and that sort of thing. You can see back there, they're sort of pressed against the fence, which is right next to the building where they're counting the votes inside. They haven't crossed over that fence. There's no indication that they're going to do that tonight. They haven't done it at this point. But I will tell you that there is a lot of law enforcement in this area, and a lot more visible tonight than they were last night or the night before. Might be an indication that law enforcement just wants to make sure that this group knows they've got to stay in the area where they're cordoned off, and they can't be out here breaking any rules. Brandon, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Morgan, and I know I was just listening to an interview with Sheriff Paul Penzone. Paul Penzone says he's going to do everything possible to make sure that it remains peaceful as those poll workers are counting every single vote. That is our chief investigative reporter, Morgan Lowe, reporting for us tonight. Morgan, thank you. We're going to continue our team coverage right now with CBS 5's Brianna Whitney, who is inside the recorder's office. That is where they are counting every vote right here in Maricopa County. Brianna.
Yeah, Brandon, this room behind me is so important. And we all know that tonight's results drop is going to be huge, possibly could determine which way Arizona is likely going to go. You can see the poll workers back there. They have been hard at work for long hours, multiple days. So where do we stand right now? There's about 142,000 ballots that still need to be counted here in Maricopa County. Tonight, they expect about a 70,000 ballot result drop. So that's pretty big, because when you're talking about how many are left after that, it's going to be under 100,000, more like 70,000 more. So let's talk about what would need to happen for Trump to even have a shot at catching up to Biden. So I actually brought a whiteboard so we can kind of demonstrate it. So there was one drop this morning, Maricopa County, 9 a.m. At that drop, Trump would have needed about 57% of the results or the votes to catch up to Biden. What he ended up getting was about 51%, still more than Biden got during the drop, but not enough. That was too low to get to that point. So now, with the 7 p.m. drop, he's going to need about 60%.
It's new at 10 o'clock. The acting commissioner for Border Patrol is now responding to our CBS 5 investigation. It all centers on the border wall and the actions of the contractors who are out there building it.
And tonight we've got new video and a witness who says he has evidence those contractors are breaking the law. Here's investigative reporter Morgan Lowe.
All along the Arizona border with Mexico, construction crews are busy replacing the old border barrier with new, taller border fence. These contracts are worth billions of dollars, but our investigation found some serious questions about the oversight. On the Mexico side of the border, we found stacks of steel piled up roughly 15 feet south of the international boundary. And we found witnesses who said they saw U.S. contractors bulldozing the steel into Mexico.
This has been going on for 4 months at 7 sites. Tons per month being dumped at each of these 7 sites.
If that is accurate, it means those contractors were crossing back and forth over the border. Meantime, we found Mexican citizens taking the steel and selling it. The border is right behind me. Turn around this way, and they're selling the old border wall in Mexico.
I saw the Mexican nationals hauling it out.
John Kirk is a photographer who has spent the past 5 weeks documenting what he calls the destruction of wildlife habitat and migration paths through the border region. This video shows construction crews blasting a mountain range and the boulders and debris falling into Mexico.
And the boulders rolling down in certain sections, they're rolling right into Mexico. That violates some international boundary laws.
It's why we must have all the tools at our disposal, from innovative technology, including the wall.
Earlier this month, the acting commissioner for Customs and Border Protection held a news conference in Tucson. So we asked him what he thought about our investigation and the actions of the construction crews.
I've heard reports of that, but I haven't had an opportunity to talk to the general that oversees the Army Corps of Engineers to talk about specifics, to really know whether that is actually happened or just anecdotal information.
And is this something that you would ask that person about?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you confident that these contractors have the oversight that they need to do such a big project?
100% confident.
But one CBP official told us the border wall contractors did not have the required permission to cross back and forth into Mexico, and the contractors were supposed to be recycling the material we found in Mexico. I'm Morgan Lowe for Arizona's Family.
My brain fog is really bad. Memory loss. I was floored. I was literally in tears because someone else out there felt like me. I'm not crazy. It's not in my head.
A potential game changer in the debate is the heel real.
Fatigue. The fatigue's definitely better. Eye infections. They're gone. Sinus infections. Gone. Blurry vision. Gone. Sinus and headaches. Gone. And you had those every day? Every single day.
Previous CBS 5 investigations introduced you to women who claim removing their breast implants restored their health and saved their lives.
I knew I was sick, and then I got to a point I was definitely sick. So when doctors tell me it's all in your head, no, it's not in my head. It's not in these women's heads.
Homeowners from across the state, they're now getting together to change the law that protects those short-term rentals.
And they are pointing to a growing number of wild parties and bad behavior they say is wreaking havoc on pretty quiet neighborhoods around town. Police arrested 2 fugitives at one recent party, and investigative reporter Morgan Lowe has the video.
Did I or did I not tell you last night that if we had to come back here, that yesterday was your warning?
This is police body cam video taken outside a party in Paradise Valley in the early morning of September 20th.
Hey, gun. Hey. Put your hands up.
Needless to say, it's not how most Paradise Valley parties play out.
Do not move.
Police say there were hundreds of people parking on the street, blocking traffic, and it was all at a short-term rental. 6 men had paid $3,500 for the weekend.
You need to appear in court on the 6th at 8 a.m. here in Paradise Valley. If you do not, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Do you understand that?
It took the Paradise Valley Police Department an entire shift for 6 officers, I believe, to clear the party.
Bill Hunter is a Paradise Valley resident and a critic of what short-term rentals have done to his neighborhood and community.
The party house scene with short-term rentals is getting worse, not better.
And it's not just this upscale Valley suburb that is affected. Reports of blowout bashes and lewd bachelor parties are coming in from all over Arizona.
I call it the coronavirus.
Here we are celebrating another year, 13 years of washing cars here in the Valley of the Sun. And all these wonderful businesses and all of our wonderful viewers that came on by and gave to the car wash this year. Oh, thank you, Fry's. Thank you, Superstar. Thank you, Goldbook. It's just been amazing. Desert Ridge, Safeway, Albertsons, Bell Bank. I mean, we can't name all of them, but I'm telling you, the giving spirit was just amazing. Hasn't it been, Laura?
It has been fantastic. I mean, the year, it's a little different this year, and you never know what is going to happen with 2020, right?
Well, it's so nice to have something nice happen in 2020.
This has been amazing.
Well, let's reveal this check. Are you guys ready for this?
I'm super excited.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, ready?
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, all week long, here's what we raised in 2020, for Pete's sakes. $152,855. There's the champagne! Yes!
All right, so it's time for our Christmas Angel campaign. We're hoping you're going to help us give back to Arizona families in need.
Yeah, you know the drill by now. You pick a tag, buy a gift, earn your wings, and this year you can do it online or at any of the malls. And in fact, our chief angel, Royal Norman, is out at Desert Ridge Marketplace live. Royal, you've been doing this for like 30 years. Love it.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah, you know what? It's really great, too. And here we are, 2020, the Christmas Angel program getting underway at Desert Ridge, which is kind of traditional. We like to start over at Desert Ridge. It makes us feel happy because they do such a good job over here. And Major Yardley is with us. Hi, Major Yardley. How you doing?
How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. Now, Christmas Angel 2020 is going to be... let's just say challenging, I would say. Is that a good word for it?
That's a good word, yes. Due to the pandemic, we are having to do things a little different, follow different procedures. Yet, you can see on our Christmas tree, there's still angel tags, so you can come out and pick a tag. Or if you want to, you can go to our webpage, SalvationArmyPhoenix.org, or you can scan in this code, and it'll take you right to a place where you can adopt an angel tag.
In the 35 years of Christmas Angel, we've never had to resort to something like this. Donations were down, we were concerned, so Arizona's family launched a day-long, last-minute push to bring Christmas to 52,000 children.
The storm commander's out here, the Salvation Army, they're getting set up.
The morning crew gathered at the mall to lay out the problem for one and all.
We have changed the name to Operation Rescue Christmas. We really need your help.
Ian, in the green getup, made good use of himself. The growing pile of donations inspiring for the Arizona's family elf.
I got this last night for Hanukkah and I don't really need it, so I want to give it to people that don't have Legos.
Oh my gosh, what's your name?
Madison.
Madison, thank you so much. What a gift.
We started to see from the drone up above truckloads of toys delivered with love.
Look at all this stuff. Let's come on, guys. Let's
Time to get the haul.
Let's get to work.
Royal arrived in snazzy suit style, elated to see the heaping pile.
People are showing up like crazy. It is amazing.
His gold suit, glowing brighter with every donation, made it easy to find the drop-off location.
I know what it's like to be without, and I just really couldn't stand the thought of some kids not being able to have anything for Christmas.
I saw that we were short on donations, so I hopped on my social, reactivated my Facebook, and raised about $1,500 for these little guys in Arizona.
We brought a truck and we thought, can we fill that? It's already filled. Truck number 2 is getting filled up too.
If we would have got one truck, I would have been thrilled. To get 2 that we're working on right now is just amazing.
Just before sunset, it started to become clear we're closer to getting every child a gift this year.
We know now that every kid who needs a present this holiday and is signed up with the Salvation Army is gonna get a toy. It's because of you, it's because of Arizona, and thanks is about all we can say. And dance a little, because I feel like dancing.
Take a look at Doppler radar right behind me. Royal is actually showing up on radar. I mean, look at it. It's as bright as day.
Our concerns were replaced with much happier moods and hearts overflowing with pure gratitude.
We're feeling really good about Christmas Angel, and it's all thanks to the Valley, which as a whole, I proclaim, has earned their wings.
A Feel Good Friday story for you. At Great Hearts Archway in Glendale, there are 2 janitors who go above and beyond every single day, scene.
Yeah, Nicole, the headmaster at the school, tells us these 2 people, they always come to work with a smile, a bright attitude, and they even sing some songs. Gibby Parra surprised them this morning.
Here at Great Hearts, the kids are very talented. That's why they're in class now. They want to grow up to be doctors and physicists and janitors, just like the 2 we see back there, like Mr. Dennis and Daisy. Mr. Dennis and Daisy, can you guys wave your hands? As a matter of fact, can you guys give them a hand clap? Can you guys come down here? Can you guys come down here?
They're awesome. They're always here. They're always supporting us. They always care about us. They're always encouraging us, and they're keeping us safe by keeping everything clean.
We live in a time where people are very worried, cautious. We might have a mindset of just go in, do your job. But every day, no matter how many times I pass her, she says hello. And even though she has a mask on, I know she's smiling.
I'm with Channel 3 Arizona's Family Surprise Squad, right? And part of our Valley Toyota dealers, we're here to recognize you guys. You guys are doing such an amazing job. The kids know it. Your bosses know it. The faculty here know it. So we're here to give you $500 each.
Stop it. Stop it.
Thank you.
We love the school. That's all we can say. We love the school. We love the parents. We love the teachers. We love the students. So, my mother raised me that way.
You know what, Mr. Dennis? I'm saying the show is yours. How about you end it with a little tune for us to go on the way out? Something glorious, because we glorious here today. Let's go.
Be still. God will fight your battles. Be still. God will fight your battles. Be still. God will fight your battles. God will fight your battles if you just be still.
Good morning, folks. Bruce After up in the Lions Roof News Shopper just arrived downtown Tempe. A train derailment on the bridge that goes over the Tempe Town Lake on fire. And what's really on fire is a car of lumber, and there's lumber in the Tempe Town Lake. There's lumber on the bridge, the whole bridge, most of the bridge on fire. It's working its way back to the rest of the train. We have some tanker cars down there that fell off of the bridge. This bridge, I don't know, we'll do some research. I'm not sure how long this bridge has been in Tempe, but ever since I went to Arizona State in 1974, that's for sure. But let me move away a little bit, give you the wide shot, but the whole bridge, this is unbelievable over the Tempe Town Lake. This railroad trestle has collapsed with a train car on it, and boy, look at that, you guys.
That is certainly something to see right there. Can you tell how big that train is by any chance, Bruce?
Yeah, let me look over here, back around the corner. It's going over to, hang on a second, Tower 2, there you go.
Wow.
That's a long train.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Gives you a better perspective of, you know, how big it is and what part of it actually collapsed on that bridge.
Okay, you know, we'll just stay to the east, or west here, low level.
Oh, Bruce, so that fire, I mean, that is a
TV3,
lot
we'll
of
stay
dark
low
smoke,
level
obviously.
here, to the west of that.
Plenty of fuels there burning right now. Remarkable images in an iconic spot. I mean, a place that everybody is familiar with, Javier. So imagine if you were seeing this happen as Bruce is flying overhead. We also have a different perspective from the ground, and we got this video from Camille Kimball, who was actually under the bridge right there when this happened. And I believe that she is on the line with us to talk about what she witnessed. So, Camille, can you hear us?
He's fine. Although it's pretty noisy here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Camille. I can only imagine that you're in a chaotic scene right now. It's Javier and Olivia on the phone with you, and our chopper is still overhead as we're getting these dramatic pictures of all of the smoke coming up from this bridge over Tempe Town Lake. So please talk us through what you saw.
Well, I was on, my regular morning bicycle ride, and I was just happily passing under the bridge, and I was aware that there was a train crossing. You can hear the normal rumble. It's fine. Pleasant sound, actually. And then all of a sudden it got really, really loud. And I thought, man, that's the loudest train I've ever heard. And then it became so loud, I thought, there must be a plane flying really low or something. And as I emerged from under the bridge, I saw the people ahead of me were turned around, face toward me with their cameras out or their phones out. And so I turned around to look and got the fright of my life because the bridge had collapsed. And just where I had just been, like a nanosecond before, was engulfed in flames and debris on fire. And as I've been standing here watching it, now there's fire pouring right into the lake from the middle of the bridge. And since I've been standing here, at least 2 more explosions have sounded, like really loud, just explosions. And also, while I was watching, a most remarkable thing happened. Entering the bridge from the south, heading north, was a Phoenix Transit passenger train. Entered into the flames and crossed the bridge.
Oh, wow.
I have some, images of that. It's hard to see because there's a lot of flame and smoke, and then you can just see the blue train behind it. So I don't know what the heck that was for. And right now they're pouring water or whatever they do pour from a tall crane down onto it. It's very frightening, and it looks like a scene from hell, truly, scene from hell.
I would imagine very surreal for you. What did you see immediately after that? I mean, did you see people rushing to that area to try to help? Did you see anybody running away from that train?
I don't see anybody running away from the train. I believe there were no people. You'd have to verify this, of course, but I believe from what you can see, there would have been no people actually involved in the train that crashed in the area that it crashed, because there are several unharmed, in fact, I counted 11 unharmed cars that are still on the bridge. And it's completely cargo. The lumber is burning. I don't know what's in those tanks, but it's pretty scary, and of course there's no passengers in there. So my guess would be nobody was harmed unless there was someone who was riding that, wasn't supposed to be there. There's always that possibility.
Yeah, we
Camille,
know about it.
this is just incredible. Wow, I can't imagine being there on scene to witness this. It must have just shook you to your core as you stand and think about all of this. Wow. Yeah, I can only imagine. And this has got to be a place that you're very familiar with. You're out for daily bike rides, and you must be there quite often.
I ride here every morning. I love it. It's a place to get, my peace. I see beautiful birds, herons, and egrets. And this is the most opposite scenario for this beautiful lake that could possibly be. The flames are intense, and the sky is just filled with black billowing smoke. There's just a lot of flame on the ground and on the bridge. The original place where the fire started was just south of the bridge, like 1 or 2 cars length south of the bridge, really half a car's length now that I look at it. But over the next few minutes, the flame ran along the rail track to the middle of the bridge. So that was quite a sight to see as well.
Well, Camille, we thank you very much for sharing this information. We are glad you are safe. We want to get to our reporter, Gibby Pata. He just arrived on scene, and he can fill us in on some of the other details. What do you know right now, Gib?
Yeah, good morning, Javier. What you're taking a look at here and what you've been seeing here, this is a shot from Lakeside Drive and Rio Salado Parkway. And what you're seeing, a lot of the debris that you see falling from that is that lumber that's burning. It kind of from a ways, it looked like if the bridge itself was collapsing, but it's pretty much the lumber falling off of the train that was up above. You can see how hot it is burning. When you see that black smoke, that means that it has all that fresh material that it's burning. You saw that the fire ladder is here. They've been hitting it from up above. And just as Camille was saying, she was on her morning routine. We also have a couple that were walking on their morning routine, and they witnessed the whole thing right above them as they were walking as well. So you guys were right here doing your morning jog, saw it, and what happened?
Well, I was walking east, and all of a sudden I saw the train crossing over. And the actual front of the train was crossing over, and then all of a sudden I heard crack, crack, snap, snap, crack, crack. It sounded like it was coming off track. And then we kept looking at it, and then we just stopped. And we kept looking at it and wondering where the noise come from. It sounded like it was coming off the track. And lo and behold, right there in front of us, it came down, boom. And that right there, where the fire is, where that one...
the bridge, part of the bridge?
The bridge started coming down. Then we saw the fire just keep following the train in front of it, and then the rest of the train broke off, and the rest of it back there. You got one tanker over there that's leaning on his face. So that's why they pull everybody back, because it might be some explosion back there. So.
But we stopped.
Yeah.
How scary is this?
It was very scary. It was very scary because
I got video after it started coming down. So
we were nearly feet from crossing underneath the bridge, and my husband says, "That doesn't sound good." The noise was so loud, like you were at a fair, a ride, something that, like it was going to crash. And we stopped because we were getting closer to go underneath it. And all of a sudden, it just fell right before our eyes.
Yeah.
We literally witnessed it. It was very scary.
I don't know if you can get the video, but if you want video, I'll take my phone out immediately.
Okay, we'll get with you right here in a sec so we can show the folks what you guys encountered out there. But as Victor keeps showing you here, guys, they are pouring as much water on this bridge. You can see actually on this side, now that we moved over a bit, where that bridge has come down a bit off its side, it continues to burn as the Tempe Fire, Phoenix Fire, and others are out here trying to assist. We're letting them do their work before they're going to be able to give us any kind of information as to what happened here. But you could only imagine this is a place where a lot of people come out and exercise. A lot of people go out for their morning jogs or their rides on their bike, and only to have this happen to them right as they're, some of them right underneath the bridge itself, Javier. Some scary moments for them.
Scary indeed. All right, if you can get that video turned
Gibby,
around.
can I ask you one quick question? Gibby, can I ask you one quick question? Because it's really harder for us to see, and especially I'm watching on a smaller monitor in the home studio. So I know you said that a lot of that fire that it looks like is coming down off of that bridge, and it looks like the lumber there off of the train. So do you think that structurally the bridge is preserved, or is it falling apart right there at that spot of the hottest fire?
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring over this tripod for Victor, because as we moved over to the side, Vic, go ahead and get onto the tripod here so you can zoom in. I want them to see this, and you'll see the damage to the bridge here as Victor puts it back on the tripod and we zoom in. You're going to see the damage to the bridge. From where we were seeing, you could see the fire underneath the bridge is coming from the lumber, but now there's smoke covering it. You can actually see damage to the bridge right there. It's right to the south. On the south end of the bridge, you can actually see where it bends down. So that's where it kind of almost has a collapse, if you will. It's hard to see now with the smoke from my vantage point, but there is total damage to the bridge over on that side. To the left of it is where you see more of the fire, and that's the fire and that wood burning underneath the bridge, as well as everything and all the contents that are on the train burning above it as well. And heads up, Victor, there are more fire trucks showing up here to the scene right now as we speak. So some scary moments here for folks who are just out here getting their daily exercise, and as Tempe Fire and other crews try to put this fire out, they're going to be out here for quite some time.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time, one, to get that fire under control, and then to start assessing all the damage out there. But thanks for that perspective. That really gave us a clearer picture of what these firefighters are dealing with.
That is intense, really incredible. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've got the chopper over the scene, and I mean, Bruce, the vantage point that you have and the ability for us to get this coverage faster, of course, than anyone in town is a real benefit at this moment, because this is a scene, Bruce, like we've never seen before here.
Yeah, check this out. This whole view we have up here in the Lions Roofing News Chopper. Unbelievable shot here. Now they have the boat down on the water. Jared, let's go to some close-ups of the first stuff we got when we arrived here. And the Tempe Fire Department, they weren't quite sure how close they could get. Here's shots when we arrived on the scene, and you can see for yourself there the part of the bridge that has fallen, and where those cars are down there. Off of the bridge, and then fire going all the way back on the bridge, which was really just an amazing shot for us, if I can use that word in such a catastrophe. But fire all the way back there, starting from that lumber car, and thank goodness the tanker car that fell where the bridge collapsed over on the Tempe side of the Tempe Town Lake on the shoreline there did not fall into the lake to pollute the water. Plus, we don't know if it's leaking or not. I'm sure the Phoenix or the Tempe Fire Department and all the other fire departments that are coming here to help them, they're not sure exactly what they have with those tanks as far as how they're going to deal with that. We saw them early come in right when we arrived on the scene. Stand by 1 second. I got you up there, Ryan. And basically, then they moved all of their trucks away from it because they saw those tanks, I'm assuming, and thought, oh man, there you see the tanker cars down there, and that is the Tempe Town Lake, that beach park, Tempe Beach Park. That's where this all is, and just those are the first shots we got when we arrived there. Just unbelievable.
That is unreal to watch and see, and then you see how the fire just took off across that bridge. I'm trying to see, is that a boat there in the water, some sort of boat trying to assess?
Yes, that's the Tempe police, I believe. That's their boat. They've probably got a fire crew on there, and they're doing sort of their recon and figuring out how they're going to attack this thing. I mean, imagine fighting a fire on a bridge, a structure that is unsafe at this point, and everything on the bridge is on fire as well. You can see the black smoke, meaning there's no water on there yet, and once the smoke turns white, then you know they're getting water on it. That would be the steam. But right now, they have their hands full down here, and we'll have to see what kind of liquid is in the tanker car that fell off of the part of the bridge that collapsed. Now, I started in Arizona State at 1974. And this bridge was there then, so not sure how old this bridge is, but for us to see a collapse like that, I mean, bridges just don't collapse like that without some sort of a problem. Stand by.
And from that other shot, you see all the damage to the rest of that bridge as well. So, you wonder.
And for TV3, you say again?
When this is all said and done.
Hey, Bruce, I know you're multitasking up there, but let me just ask you one thing, because we saw on the ground with Gibby and Victor, more fire trucks coming. Obviously, this is going to take a lot of resources, probably from multiple cities, maybe, for support. Have you seen any ambulances in the area or heard anything or witnessed anything to indicate that anybody has been injured in this?
And Olivia, this is Jerry, the photographer on board. Bruce is still talking about the tower, but we have not seen any ambulances that I can report seeing. So Bruce will be right back with you. In fact, Bruce,
here we go, Jerry.
Bruce is back up.
I just spoke with the air traffic controllers. We're right underneath their flight path. They've been really great with us, letting us come in here low level to get these shots for you folks on TV and warn you about this Tempe fire here on the railroad bridge that goes across the Tempe Town Lake at Arizona State and along Mill Avenue. They are diverting air traffic to move to the north because the fire department does not know what they have here with those tankers and stuff and the possibility of an explosion. So they're diverting airliners and all the air traffic towards the north as they take off, and they're taking off in this direction. And Jerry, if you can swing Elvis around here, let's show them where the airport is real quick. I know in this shot you can go to Tal if you needed to, but here we go. We're swinging all the way around, and there's the airport. So you can see the airplanes to the left, the runways to the left, Jerry, 7 over there, right there. That's how close it is to this Tempe Town Lake. Obviously, everybody, realizes the airport comes across the Tempe Town Lake, and anyone who's been to an Arizona State game watches airliners come over the stadium as they head into the airport. And so they're taking airplanes and they're moving them to the north as they take off, because they're taking off in this direction. And so I'm sure they'll probably take off all morning until the fire department gets a handle on this fire down here on that railroad bridge.
Wow. And guys, just one last thing. Have we seen any branding on this train? I know you showed us how immensely long it is and the way it wraps around. So I assume we would think the engineer or conductor is way far away from this. You would hope so. But do we know?
Yeah, they are.
So we can start. Yeah.
I'm looking at the back of the train over here at the north side of the Tempe Town Lake, and there's a couple engines right there. I can't see the other side of the train over there through the smoke to see if there's engines on both ends of this. Not sure which direction this train was heading, so hopefully we can get some information from the railroad folks. But the bridge's still on fire, and once again, how are the firefighters going to get on that bridge and put the fire out? Maybe they're thinking, hang on one second here.
It's got to be like when you don't know a structure is secure and you have to be doing everything from defensively a distance, right? I mean, there's no way to trudge out there not knowing the stability factor. You guys are doing an incredible job. Thank you so much. We're going to hang on these pictures and check in with Gina as well. Gina, I mean, you first alerted us to this with a traffic cam. This is going to be changing things all around Tempe, right?
Well, no doubt about it. First of all, I'll let you know that the Mill Avenue Bridge is still open. However, Valley Metro let us know that they're in the process of putting buses together here to transport people who may be stuck at Mill Avenue and 3rd Street, Center Parkway, to basically get them where they are going. This is a live look of the ADOT camera at the 202 and Center. That's real close to Priest there. And again, you can see here's the Mill Avenue Bridge. It is open, but look at the right lane here. It looks like we've got some folks that have got it blocked off, perhaps Department of Transportation for the city of Tempe. What you can't see just out of view here is earlier and a little bit further back now, we have people who are stopping on the freeway because they're taking a look. Maybe they're taking a picture. Please do not do that. That is incredibly unsafe. You know, the authorities have a lot to deal with. What they don't need is for you to get in an accident because you're stopped on the side of the freeway to take a look. We are seeing a little bit of slowing leading up to this point here on the 202 because of a curiosity factor. If this was a normal rush hour, boy, it would be a mess on the 202. I'm not going to recommend that you avoid the 202 for right now, but just know you are going to see a curiosity factor, especially the eastbound side, this side that's coming into Tempe. Again, please do not stop on the freeway because you are curious or you want to take a picture. That's incredibly unsafe for everybody who is on the freeway. But taking a look at Mill Avenue here, you can see folks are getting across the bridge here, but it does look like that right lane is blocked off in Tempe. All right, let's go ahead and continue our coverage here, and we want to get it out to Gibby again. Gibby, good morning.
Good morning, Gina. Yeah, we've moved over to Regatta Point to give you a better idea or a better vantage point here from the ground of what this bridge looks like. You can see here the ladder is hitting it as hard as it can with the water, trying to put out the fire out here that you see. But you can see closer that there is a lot of lumber on that section of the train. You can see how mangled it is. Over to the side where you see the bridge mangled, that's where Doyle and Mary Jo were saying that they saw a tanker off to its side. What was inside that tanker, we don't know. The good news is that everyone is back, and they have moved back to get out of the way to let the firefighters work out here. A lot of people, as you mentioned, Gina, taking a look at this, pictures of it. You can even see the front part of this where there probably was stacks of lumber. That's already all burnt down. You can see there is nothing left in that area there to the left in front of the carts there. So you can see how quickly this fire can really burn through wood as much as it has out here. And so far, we have not heard if anyone has been injured in this. As we mentioned, a lot of people underneath the bridge out here is one of those things where they come out here to exercise. They come out here to get their exercise for the day. So a lot of them, some right underneath the bridge, as we talked with Mary Jo and Doyle earlier talking about it. Guys, this is one of those things where Rio Salado is closed off. It has been closed off for quite some time, but a busy morning for Phoenix fire crews who are assisting the Tempe Fire Department as well as others. As you know, you are right close to the border here of Mesa as well, so they're probably on the other side helping out in this, but you can see a better idea of what it looks like now from here and how mangled that bridge is.
Yeah, Gib, we're just getting mentioned right now. Tempe police just tweeting just moments ago, not anything that we don't already know, but saying Tempe Fire and Tempe police are on the scene of a train derailment and large fire over Tempe Town Lake, saying several roads are restricted near Tempe Town Lake and west of downtown, asking people to avoid this area altogether.
Oh, this is just really remarkable, and you guys are doing a phenomenal job with our team coverage of this breaking news. For those who have so many Sun Devils, I mean, this entire community is populated with Sun Devils, so this is just an area that people know, people love, and it is jarring to witness this happen. You know, it really is a gut punch for the entire Valley community. So we know that the chopper is overhead. I mean, Bruce has been talking about just how stunning these pictures are in I mean, the most shocking way. The fuel's obviously so tremendous. That's black smoke still billowing up. So let's head up to Bruce and Jerry, who are over the scene in the Lions Roofing News Chopper, navigating a lot of complexities up there in the air because we're awfully close to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport as well.
Yeah, that's right. So just hang on a second. Tower 2-3, we copy. We're moving north. So the control tower was asked by the fire department to move us north because they have some helicopters coming in to fight this fire, so they'll be dipping in the Tempe Town Lake, and that's how they're going to fight this thing. Probably the safest way to do it, from a helicopter with a bucket that they dip into the Tempe Town Lake, pick up, you know, hundreds of gallons of water, and then dump it directly down onto that the fire there on the bridge. So we're moving north, and we're going to get out of their way. Jerry, I don't know if you've got anything you can show them from early on. Our first shots were very impressive as far as telling the story about this fire. And if you can click back, Jerry, to where the bridge has collapsed, we want to show you this part from right when we arrived on the scene before we were moved away, because they weren't sure what they have. But basically, that's just some intense stuff. Jerry, can you go back to where the bridge has collapsed? I'm not sure if you can cue that stuff up. And now I see an airliner going up above us. Southwest Jet just took off from Sky Harbor, folks, and they are moving to the north, away from the smoke, away from that area of the fire, because the fire department doesn't know what they have because of the you know, the tankers that are involved in this, and fire near those tankers. Here's what it looks like right when we arrived on the scene. The collapsed bridge there in the Tempe Beach Park area on the south side of the Tempe Town Lake, on the Tempe side, and just an unbelievable shot for us to be looking at and seeing those cars down in there and those tankers. We're not sure what's in those tankers, but thankfully those didn't explode or catch fire. What you're looking at is the early shots of the lumber car that is on fire. So that's what we've got right now, and that's what it looks like. And we're going to wait for those helicopters to come in and start fighting this fire, dipping in the Tempe Town Lake. And man, the firefighters have their hands full on this. I'm sure the Tempe, every single fire department in the area is probably responding to this, and there's some shots, some video that we shot earlier right when we were at the scene, right over it before we had to move away from it due to the safety concerns from the fire department. But all the fire departments are going to be down there. There's going to be a lot of units down there, and we're waiting for those helicopters to arrive to start dropping water on the fire.
Yeah, Bruce, you know, when you go to any other fire, and especially with those firefighters not knowing really what they're dealing with, they typically go defensive, meaning they stand back for a way and just let it continue to burn as they try to fight it from all different angles. And it looks like that's what they're up against, not knowing the safety of that structure, whether the rest of that bridge will collapse. And so it's a very dangerous scene for them on so many levels, especially considering this bridge is over that waterway. So it is a dangerous situation. So firefighters definitely have their work cut out for them.
No doubt, Javier. Imagine being like the city manager or, you know, an engineer with the city of Tempe, getting a phone call alerting you of what is going on right now. I mean, it is unbelievable. So many questions to be answered as we watch this play out. So Gina has been standing by. Actually, the traffic cameras have been incredible, giving you perspective of how significant this fire is and the smoke that's billowing over the entire Tempe area. Obviously going to cause a destruction on the freeways, G.
Yeah, you know, even though we have a very light commute these days, it is still causing quite a curiosity factor on the 202. In fact, here's a live look at the ADOT camera at Center, which is real close to Priest here. Let me give you a couple of reference points here. So that's the 202 Red Mountain Freeway. That is the Mill Avenue Bridge there. And then, you know what, our friends at ADOT, they're moving the cameras here. And look at this. If you look way down here, we've got some emergency vehicles that are on the side of the road. Now, earlier, we just had people who were driving in the traffic stopped on the side of the road. Please do not do that to take a picture. Boy, that is so incredibly dangerous. And now I imagine those emergency vehicles are there. Troopers are there saying, making sure that nobody is actually stopping. The 202 itself, we are not looking at any closures here. We are seeing a curiosity factor just on the eastbound side as you head into Tempe from Phoenix. And then also want to show you when the picture clears up here, the Mill Avenue Bridge, at least one lane appears to be open, but the right lane there, it looks like we've got some folks that have shut down that lane, perhaps Department of Transportation for the city of Tempe. Let me show you another camera. This is the 202 in McClintock. This one's pulled way out, and if you look just under the words there, you can see the smoke. Let me also put it on a map, because sometimes it's easier to tell exactly where this is when we map it out. So again, here is the 202. This right here, these are the two directions of the Mill Avenue Bridge. This takes you into Tempe. This takes you out of Tempe towards towards the zoo, and then that is where that train bridge is here. So there's the Tempe Beach Park, of course the Tempe Town Lake, and then that is the bridge that is there on fire. So bringing you back to the 202, the camera here at center, you can see that smoke is still black, and again, the restrictions on the roadways on the Mill Avenue Bridge for sure, and then the curiosity factor on the 202.
All right, thank you, Gina. And you just bring that information to us earlier, so good eye just watching and scanning your traffic cameras out there just to catch you up on what happened. So earlier this morning, shortly after 6 o'clock, Gina had noticed some smoke coming from that bridge there, and that's when a photographer was there. We started getting more images and learning more about this bridge collapse and the train on fire, and Bruce has been giving us unbelievable images from high above the sky on this huge train. I mean, this thing extends for at least a mile or so, coming off the bridge and backing way back into the city and then around Tempe Town Lake. So this thing is on fire. We know many crews are coming from all different agencies to try to help in this situation. We have a crew on scene trying to gather more details, and we will continue to cover this from all angles right here on Good Morning Arizona. Also on CBS 5, we'll turn to national news.